That's been my philosophy all this time as well.
I definitely would.
Let's see. Oh, there's our shot. Right. Oh, we got to share the mic.
Say hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Are we on yet?
This is Paul and I saying hello right now. We are on. We're live, Paul.
All
I'm
right.
going to go ahead and pull up the forecast in a minute, but we'll full screen everything else. I just wanted to let you guys know who was speaking to you.
All right. You notice that she's in the pilot seat. I'm co-pilot. Yeah, I guess.
You're a
so.
co-pilot.
I'm in the
I'm
shotgun seat.
I'm going to drive the boat, and
Yeah.
he's going to sit there
Yeah, I'll
and
comment.
chime in.
Yeah.
So we are lucky to have Paul with us still right now. He's been up since about, I don't know, probably 2 a.m. So
Yeah.
everyone give him a clap from your phone screens. All right. Let's
right.
get straight to it. So, all right. As Paul was kind of talking about this morning too, guys, we do have a chance for severe storms here in San Antonio this afternoon. I think between 1 and 4, but Paul was just saying after 5 now is when we think that these storms will hit. So here's where they are at the moment. Paul, can you tell me why what they're looking at could possibly turn severe?
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, we've got a very volatile atmosphere in place. I mean, very unstable, there's no doubt. Of course, there's a lot of times we have an unstable atmosphere. It doesn't necessarily lead to severe storms. But we've got an unstable atmosphere. We've got directional shear, speed shear. I mean, you name it. We've got all the ingredients in place. But one thing that we're lacking right now is a focusing mechanism, a focus for these showers and storms. So, but you'll notice up north, I wish we had it drawn here, but there's a warm frontal boundary, okay? Kind of from around, let's say, Junction to Austin. And notice where all these thunderstorms are. They're kind of north of that frontal boundary. We actually have several frontal boundaries here. So we've got that warm front there, and then we've got a cool front that runs from Dallas to San Angelo. And that's where most of these thunderstorms are developing on, is along that front and kind of in advance of that front. These have been some very heavy rain producers. I mean, there's all kinds of flood advisories and flood warnings up to the north as these storms continue to push down to the south and east. One thing that is really lacking, though, is in this kind of scenario, because we do have a cap, temperatures need to be at least in the mid-80s for you to have really strong thunderstorms. None of these here are severe, I don't believe. Let me...
Right. So, but here in San Antonio, we will be in the 80s this afternoon.
Should be.
Should be, yes, into the evening hours. So that certainly is something we're going to watch too. And I think really quickly, just to get back on San Antonio, guys, the main threats that we are going to be dealing with in the event that these do develop and turn severe in San Antonio are going to be large hail. Paul was just talking to me about this earlier. I believe we said tennis ball sized hail.
It could get up to that size if the temperatures become warm enough. I was looking at the updraft speeds. It would be just tremendous. So that's possible. I mean, anything from golf balls to tennis balls is probably likely if these thunderstorms come in when the temperatures are in the at least the lower to mid 80s. So that way you could get those real strong updraft speeds. But you'll notice the box here that was issued by the Storm Prediction Center. It's until 5 o'clock. And you'll notice that the bottom, the southern part of it, is basically from Junction to Austin. And so what I think they're thinking is that this complex of storms that's up there pretty close to around, that would be Brownwood, Coleman, let's see, northeast of San Angelo, between San Angelo and Abilene, that these thunderstorms would kind of congeal a little bit and then move southeastward. And then you'd have a wind gust threat because the winds in the mid levels of the atmosphere are running about 50 knots or so. So that wind hits the back of these storms, and if they form like almost like a semi-line, then all of that wind is forced down to the surface, and then you'd have a real wind gust problem along with some hail. But I think these temperatures are too cool. That's why you don't have a whole lot of severe thunderstorm warnings up there. I'm watching some of these storms that are, let's say, west of Junction, around Sonora, Ozona, in that area. Some of those might become severe because it is a little bit warmer. And you got a dry line back here to the west of Del Rio, and these thunderstorms are forming along that. So anyway, getting back closer to home, I think what we're going to see, and I was saying this morning, is mainly some light showers and some drizzle because of a lack of focus. And then I think this afternoon, especially if we can see just a little sunshine, we're going to really warm up. Then either an outflow boundary from the north or the dry line from the west could trigger some storms closer to us. But I really think if that happens, it'll be late this afternoon and into this evening.
So just after 5, we're thinking.
Probably after 5, yeah.
And so something that actually I found really interesting that Paul was talking about earlier, he said, this is how I can tell this storm could turn severe. It's because there's a V shape at the top, and I think people would find that interesting.
Yeah, let's zoom in over here. You notice these storms here, they all look kind of ragged and not real organized. Of course, to the untrained eye, it's kind of hard to tell. But like this storm over here that's north of Sonora, all right, it's got like a little V shape at the top. Even that one doesn't look real strong. But that's the kind of the beginnings, is when you start off with a little V shape and you've got a little notch down at the bottom that shows. And one thing this thing is lacking is a real good inflow notch into it. But you're going to find that these isolated cells kind of to the south and west, those may end up being the strongest. So that's what I'm looking at.
Something to watch. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that it was a very active weather day too on Monday. Paul was out in the field doing his thing, but people at home are probably wondering, okay, do you think, I have the question, is it going to be as severe as that? I think the answer is no.
I would say at this point, probably not, but the Storm Prediction Center does have us under a slight risk, so I think that's probably appropriate. There is a slight risk that could happen, so there's a couple things that have to happen before. If we can warm up into at least the mid-80s, then we've got a chance to have really strong downdraft winds, large hail, you name it. If it stays cloudy all afternoon with, let's say, temperatures in the 70s, probably not. But the way things are shaping now, I think we're still in the slight category. Like, yeah, it could happen.
Sure. Thank you for that, Paul. And also, to reiterate, too, let's say that none of these storms develop. Well, then what will you be looking at? It'll be mostly cloudy, and temperatures will be pretty comfortable. Like Paul was just saying, a little bit of drizzle possible. But for now, I believe we have our severe thunderstorm watch up. Paul is dropping the boat a little bit. He's probably a bit better at this than I am. But here you go. Yeah, all the areas in the pink, and, of course, what we were looking at on our radar. But let's talk temps.
Okay, let's talk temperatures. Let's pull that up. Right now, the temperature is...
it is...
There we go. 79 degrees. All right. Now, you'll notice where you see a little breaks here down to the south. Temperatures are a little bit warmer in the lower 80s. George West, 83. Cotulla's 83. 79 here. Fredericksburg's at 75. Maybe a little warmer over to the east, Gonzales and Hallettsville. So... I think things are on course. We're on track. I wish we had temperatures up there where those thunderstorms are, but we don't. Maybe we can find them. Yeah, we can find them.
Sure. And really quickly before we go there, I would like to say it is 11:11, so make a wish.
Okay. Oh, is it really?
Well, it just turned 11:12, so you missed it.
Do you do that every day?
I do.
Wow. No wonder you're so lucky, and you've got so much good fortune in. I need to do that.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that, but
they just skip by me.
Guys, don't ever miss an 11:11, okay?
Does that work for 9/9? No, probably not.
No, not in my book.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, 11:11. I see that because it'd be 1111.
Yep, that's right.
Very nice. Okay, let's take a look. So these temperatures up at Dallas Fort Worth.
Chilly.
I mean, look, 68. No wonder these storms aren't really strong. 68 up there. We've got 60, all kinds of 60s. We're warming up. So, again, I think follow the path. If we can see a little sunshine this afternoon, and if temperatures can warm up into the mid to upper 80s, like I thought this morning, then there is that slight chance that some of these storms could be a little rough later on.
Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and look at the future cast? I believe it's down here. There it is. So we can show you how the models are looking right now.
Man, if y'all could just see her desktop, it's so organized. Okay.
All right. He might be lying. He's being facetious, everyone.
Do I sound like I'm laughing? No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So on this future cast, I'm not sure which model we're using here.
GFS.
Is it the GFS model? I don't think it is the GFS. I think it's the graph.
We're using the graph.
Yeah, we're using the graph model here. You know how I can tell?
Does anyone at home know what that is?
They don't know. But trust me, it's the graph model, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got this model here, and it's showing just a chance for some light sprinkles, some light showers. Now, this particular computer model has got, actually, I think this is the HRRR, to be honest with you. But anyway, this particular computer model Look at this. Notice how the temperatures, can you see that?
Warm.
Okay, right. What did I say earlier? Mid-80s?
Yep.
Bam. All of a sudden, with disturbances overhead,
This is 3 p.m.
once you get into the mid-80s, then there's a possibility that some of these storms could pop and develop and break the cap. Okay, and it's possible. This is one of the only computer models that's really showing this quite like this. The NAM model's not like this. The graph model's not like this. The NAM is not exactly like this either. And this is just one high resolution computer model. But you'll notice how it does once we start hitting mid 80s pop. It's got some thunderstorms that develop, and these storms. Notice the magenta colors in there, the real bright colors. If these storms develop, then they'll be severe in no time. The question is, I'm not exactly sure that that's possible for that to happen, but it's a possibility. What I think is probably a more likely scenario is that from the north, that thunderstorms move in, and I would have to totally reload a different scenario for you because this one has storms in the afternoon, but I think it's also entirely possible that that complex of storms that's way up there to the north will continue to push southward by this evening, and then we'd have another chance for some severe storms in.
Okay, and so let's move into tomorrow as well. I know we're talking a lot about today. Which is great, but I think that people should know tomorrow we are expecting more isolated storms if any of those develop. Certainly not like the scattered storms that we could have this afternoon.
Yeah, notice how the frontal boundary, when it pushes through by early tomorrow morning, should kick off some more thunderstorms down to the south and east, probably not severe because of the temperatures. Notice the temperatures in the 70s, okay? As we head into tomorrow, we're going to warm up. We're going to see a little bit of some sunshine. Now, there is one disturbance that's kind of left over that'll come in tomorrow night. I threw in a 10% for Friday just in case because, again, the HRRR is a little aggressive here, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that a thunderstorm could pop up tomorrow night with that upper level disturbance. So I threw in a 10% chance just in case. But just keep that in the back of your mind if you've got something planned Friday night.
Mm-hmm. And then this weekend, it's actually going to be pretty toasty out there. There's a possibility that some of those heat index readings could be in the triple digits. Correct, Paul?
I think it could get close. Yeah,
could get close. We'll be in the 90s.
In the mid 90s. You know, this time of the year, when you start getting into the mid 90s and upper 90s, the reason you do that is because it's drier. Mm-hmm. Okay? And so since it's drier, then the heat index won't be as great.
Okay.
So it's possible 95 with a heat index of 98, something like that on Saturday, which is hot, right?
Yeah, so just so you know for weekend plans too, though, I think a pool day would be good.
And Sunday's going to be hot, too.
Paul's going to be at the pool all weekend.
Oh, man, that's why you notice my tan.
You have a tan? Oh, yeah, he's going to have a really good tan on Monday. He doesn't have one yet. I'm just kidding.
I just thought you were naturally.
Yeah. No. It looks great, Paul. But he's going to have an even better one. You better wear your sunscreen.
I do wear sunscreen.
Do you have any other hot weather tips for anyone?
When I was younger, I did not care. I wish I did.
Yeah? Well,
Because
it's okay. Don't you worry. You turned out great, Paul. But you're going to wear sunscreen outside, right?
I do wear sunscreen now. I definitely do. Any tips for what?
Hot weather.
Hot weather tips.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. Make sure and have that water. What's another? I wish we could have like a split screen here.
We could, but I don't know that you and I can both fit directly in it. Let's try it, you guys. Oh, we've got options coming up.
Okay, there we go. That way they can see
I just have to lean over a bit,
Right.
and hello.
And we're both in there.
Yeah, so we were talking about Paul's skin and how, you know what, you should certainly wear your sunscreen.
Should wear sunscreen because if you don't, you'll look like this. But
I'm sure that
right.
we've got some nice comments in the
I'm sure we
saying
got all
how
kinds
great
of
your
comments.
skin looks right now, or some products.
But you know what?
could try.
Just on Great Day, we were just talking about this. On Great Day, we had an expert on pets.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, watch out for the dogs because.
Yes.
And actually, I knew a person that did this. They took their Pomeranian, I think it was, for a walk.
I have a Pomeranian.
Okay, took it for a walk, and then we're noticing. I just noticed he started dancing around and starting to do a jig. Remember, that if your feet can get hot, their feet can get
Oh,
hot.
their little paws. That is
Yes.
a really big thing you need to remember. Do the little hand touch to the
Yes.
pavement if it's too hot.
If it's too hot for you, it's too hot for
It's
them.
way too hot for them.
Right. So make sure and check that out. But as far as safety, just make sure and stay hydrated. Don't overdo it. If you're playing a round of golf, just
Easy on the beers.
right there you go. That's what I was going to say. You knew what you read my mind.
Yeah, that typically happens. Well, not typically, but it
Yeah.
did right now in this
And,
scenario.
and just don't overdo it. Because you'll start feeling bad. Just don't keep going if you start feeling bad.
Yeah, that is.
Some people,
Well,
I used to be real hard-headed, and thought I was
Used to be.
Yes, and right, I know, and thought I was invincible, and so I would be out there, and I started getting a headache. Oh, yeah, I can make. Well, I just keep playing, no problem.
Heat
and
exhaustion.
right, and just just take it easy.
Please take it easy. And again, back to today for any of these storms late this afternoon, guys. Be sure to download our KENS 5 Plus app for all of your weather updates. I believe Bill Taylor will be in this evening, and Paul will be back tomorrow. You seem like you have something else.
Yes, I do. We didn't really talk much about the 7-day.
Let's do it then.
Okay, so we talked about today. Again, just kind of in a recap, I think the highs will be about 87, 88, somewhere around there. Probably no thunderstorms until late this afternoon at the earliest. And then tonight, let's say between 6 and 9 o'clock. That's probably the best time. If and this is a big if we're going to see thunderstorms, that'll probably be the best time. Still a slight risk for severe storms, but there is that risk. And if a thunderstorm moves in, damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes, the whole thing. But it's a slight risk, but just keep that in mind. All right, so the front comes through tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies. I threw in that 10% just in case for tomorrow night. Isolated. 89 for a high. And then we're into Maggie weather with highs in the mid-90s, lots of sunshine, 97 on Tuesday, 96 on Wednesday. And, I can just hear the sounds.
It's going to be great.
Like
Groovin'.
maybe, almost like, what are they playing in Miami these days?
A lot of house music.
Okay. Like EDM?
Yeah.
Okay, like EDM stuff?
Do you like EDM?
Oh, I love EDM, yeah.
He's going to do a little shuffle for us, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Okay, yes.
What's that guy's Tiesto? There's Tiesto?
Tiesto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Paul's hip. He knows what's going on here. You know what's funny that he says Maggie weather because one of our directors has pictures of all of the weather team, and mine is a nice sunny day with almost no cloud in the sky, and I'm holding a little thermometer. But Paul's
And guess what mine
is a day like today.
Oh, gosh. Mine is like stormy, like the world is going to come to an end.
Yep.
Lightning and thunder, and my horse is even scared in my picture.
Yeah, his horse is really worried in the photo, so you'll have to stay tuned, and maybe we'll show you those one day, but also maybe not. I don't even know where they went.
I don't know. Where did they go?
They got taken down.
They got taken down.
That's okay.
Things don't last forever.
Nothing lasts forever, so if you're going through a hard time, the storm will pass.
There you go.
You like what I did there?
Wow.
Okay, you guys. Well, Paul and I are going to head off and
Yep.
hang out until
Shoot,
we
that
see
was
something
over
happening.
20 minutes.
Yep, that was great. I hope you guys have a good rest of the day.
You know
Bye,
what?
everybody.
I wish that we could talk. I wish this was like two-way.
That'd be cool if we could have people request to join and then someone pops on and asks questions.
That would be cool.
That would, but
Greg's over here. All right.
maybe we'll figure that out. He's like, no. That makes things 10 times harder. Maybe one day, but otherwise, you guys be safe. And once again, everyone should download our what, Paul?
I probably shouldn't do this. Have a Coke and a smile.
A Coke and a smile.
Advertise.
We'll end things with that. We do love a Coca-Cola. He was walking through the newsroom with one, and I thought, Paul's having one.
I'll go grab
I
one.
have to.
I'll go grab one.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
cheers, guys.
We'll see you.
Bye.